Well, hello and welcome to Race First Broadcasting of the Fuel series here from Barber Motorsports Park. I'm Matt Houston, joined by Gary Gotso in the booth. How's it going, Gary?
Hey, good to be back, and good to be at another track we are familiar with.
That's right. We've had a lot of time at Barber, both watching on the television as well as virtually.
Yeah, this is really, it used to be known for motorcycle racing, and now it is an annual stop on the IndyCar circuit, and I think it took a while to grow into something, and then it's now one of those almost one of those can't miss races of the calendar, really. Everyone races really hard here. A couple good passing zones, but that's for IndyCar. See, they're going to be a little bit different for the Toyotas. I bet we're going to probably see about 3 or 4 other passing areas here, but everyone's going to have the same problem getting on the pit road. It has probably one of the most dangerous pit roads in all of sim racing. So we'll see how many fast repairs are chalked up by people just smacking the wall coming on the pit in.
Yeah, I was going to mention that whole thing because I saw somebody do it in practice, that whole pin entry, very difficult. But yeah, I mean, you're right. We've done a lot. So for initially when IndyCar came here, it was with the very old chassis, the IR05 or whatever they were calling it at the time. And so, I don't know, the race wasn't that great then. This was a bike course, so they really, it's kind of, will this last? But the fans came out down there in the south, and once the DW12 came around, it started putting on some great races here, like in a track that is very difficult to pass. Like you said, it won't be a problem in these cars at all, but in an Indy car, it is very difficult to pass. I don't know how they do it, honestly, having driven it in the sim here, in the Indy car. I only pass people if they really mess up. But you see some legit passes happen in IndyCar in real life on this track. So that just means good things for us and all of our viewers here watching tonight with these Toyota GR86s without about 200 horsepower, basically production car right off of the factory floor. Pretty much these cars are. So maybe roll bars in there. So. For safety.
Well, we're looking at, we haven't seen any laps completed yet for time, but the track record, and we will not see anywhere near a track record today in these cars, is set last year by Scott McLaughlin with a 105.8396. That was set in qualifications last year. Joseph Newgarden and Ryan Hunter-Reay each have, Joseph Newgarden is the career wins leader here. Just to give you a comparison to now how long he's been in IndyCar. Now you can call him a career wins leader at a track with 3. Will Power and Ryan Hunter-Reay each have 2. And here's a fast fact for you. This is one of the few tracks remaining on the IndyCar schedule that Scott Dixon has yet to win a race at.
What's one of the other ones? And I might be putting you on the spot here, but I'm thinking St. Pete is definitely one that he hasn't won at. I
do believe that might be one of the other ones. Yeah, there's very few. I mean, he's getting up there near AJ's number here soon, so there's going to be a lot more tracks that he's won at than he hasn't.
But yeah, it's Dixon always makes, because St. Pete is always the beginning of the season, right? And he always makes it interesting because he gets like a DNF or something there, and then then he
spends the rest of the year digging himself out.
Exactly.
With a bunch of top 3s and top 5s. Yeah,
exactly.
Typical Scott Dixon.
That's right. Yeah. So currently, a provisional poll, Kyle Kaiser's on it this week here, 137.045. I would assume that they'll be able to probably pick up speed on each subsequent lap. That was his first lap down, I think. Maybe his second lap. Maybe he's only got one more. Might only have one more with how much time.
Put him on lap 2 right now,
okay,
so we'll see. We'll see where he's at. But he's been kind of marred in the back of the opening couple of races this year. Got taken out by some contact not of his own accord at the Phillip Island one. This guy is one of the proven pros here, and he is on it this week. This week, 137, like you said, flat. And here he comes across and see if he's going to improve that any.
And he does.
There it is, 136.8.
And this next lap isn't going to count because he just drove in the grass, and that
yeah,
was
he's done. He went ahead and punched out, but 30 seconds time difference between IndyCar track record and Toyota cars.
I might put you on the spot and ask you what's the mile per hour on this one. we'll see. You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
That is a 84.548 miles per hour. Kaiser's lap.
That is cooking it. Like that
is really moving it through this one, yeah.
Like in just a production car, with some roll bars, that is going pretty quick. These tires might be a little bit nicer than what you're running on the road, though.
So Kaiser on the provisional pole. Salisbury, race control, P2 right now, provisional P2. Robert McGinnis, P3. Robert had a bit of a challenging race last week. I understand that he was driving with the big C. That's right, he was driving with COVID. So even I've had that once, and I didn't want to feel like doing any sim racing. Now I understand why the man just wanted to punch off and go back to bed after that race. But he is currently provisionally P3 with about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to play. Hudson Butler and McWhirter make up your next three. Sauter, Thompson, Joseph Butler, P9. Escajeda, one of his, Escajeda type starts. He's been up. He's in the points race. I believe he is second in the points, and he's right now provisionally 10th. New starter this week, Chris Heide. He is P11, and Howard Rodriguez bringing up the rear for his team in P12.
Yeah, so Chris Heide making us his first start here for, I believe that is Virtual Carbon Racing. And we've got Howard Rodriguez back there as well. He's been one of the sad boys here, and I think he's been at every round so far. So good on Howard making it to every one of our races here. Yeah, currently I think Will Salisbury second, Robert McGinnis. I think everybody's just completing theirs. We might get it. If everybody's done, we might go forward. We'll see what admins allow us to do. But I'm not seeing... Okay, we've got a couple... Heide and Rodriguez still on the track. So we'll keep an eye on them. But yeah, Kaiser's set kind of a big lap. We've had, just a 10th between... a lot of our fields, but he's almost 3/10 faster than Salisbury there in second.
Yeah, and then 6/10 faster, or actually another 3/10 faster than McGinnis actually. So, and McGinnis is your points leader. Salisbury is only 39 behind him in the points. Escajeda only 43 behind McGinnis. So. The top two are really nip and tuck right there, but McGinnis has himself a little bit of a cushion going into this race, and then we're going to have an off week going into the holiday week, and then we are going to pick her back up after that. So this might be a good way to get in through the first half of the season done as your leader going into the Midway Clubhouse.
Yeah, just quickly looking also at our team points. We've got Feline Speed Syndicate currently leading that. That is Robert McGinnis, his team, as well as I believe Joe Butler or actually Andrew Sauter. I'm not sure if Joe Butler. I see him in the chat there, in the voice chat, but I'm not sure if he's actually on that team. Let me double check. Well, actually, since he's not driving anymore, I can't just look at his car. But that's what I was trying to do. So, yeah.
I should have the team information here. That's Feline. That's McGinnis, Sauter, and Cosgrove.
Okay, so Cosgrove missed last week, so I think Joe's just hanging out with them this week. All right. So we're ticking away with qualifying, but we're gonna have Kyle Kaiser there on his maiden pole here in the series, at least this season when we've been covering it. I don't know if you want to go through the grid now or...
Yeah, sure. We can wait for another
Yeah.
Because of course we're gonna have the
We're gonna
pace
have 2
lap
minutes.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We have the full. I'm thinking standing starts. I've been doing.
FIS, yeah.
Well, I've been doing Super Formula, and that's all standing starts. So, except our test race last night, we did rolling start by accident.
Well, let's get the starting grid out of the way. Here we go. As they're starting to line up, Kyle Kaiser, the Alonso killer, P1 on the pole. Will Salisbury, P2. Robert McGinnis is our points leader. He is starting third. As Zach Hudson, fourth. Max Butler, and we might be talking to one of the Butlers here here during one of our breaks. Which one, we won't tell you. We don't know yet. Ty McWhorter, P6. Making up those first 3 rows. Sauter, P7. TJ Thompson, P8. Joseph Butler, P9. Escajeda is going to be fighting for the rear in 10th. Chris Heide, 11th. And Howard Rodriguez, 12th, with a time of 139.7. And that is your 12-car lineup.
There we go. So full pace lap here from Barber Motorsports. We'll get a good view of all of our other drivers here during the pace lap.
I think Heidi's going to start from the pit. That's what it looks like here.
Okay. Well, hey, that is one of the strategies. Actually, I see him. He just gridded. So.
Oh, there he goes. He grids in very late.
Yep. He's getting all that fuel. He doesn't want to burn it on the grid, which is that is smart, you know. Hey. Who was, I think, Will last week. So, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but because they're going to have everybody has to do their pit stop before the caution, or I don't know if they have to do that, but obviously the strategy says to do that. But Robert McGinnis really, he was like 2 or 3 seconds faster than Will Salisbury during that pit, and so Robert jumped everybody else at that pit cycle last week. I know Will and other drivers are going to be looking at what to do on that, and it is probably related to fuel. And of course, they're going to be trying to take that pit entry very quickly. That could get them in trouble.
Yeah, that has been, speaking of quick pit entry, just a quick visit to pit road. That has been the trend the last 2 races, where drivers at the completion of the first and second laps were already pitting to get that pit stop out of the way in preparation for the 20-minute break, where they would get the mandatory caution, and they would be all set to go and ready to run this out and slug it for that last 20-minute sprint.
Exactly. I'm just getting some nice onboard shots of our slow pace car here. Be able to bring us around. Which pace car do we have up there?
That's Porsche.
The Porsche up there once again. No Silverado truck. Whenever, like, some tracks don't let you actually pick the Porsche, but as long as it's a road course, you can do it. I think ovals sometimes don't let you do it. So I don't know why, but yeah, it occasionally happens.
I got to drive the pace car for the classic IndyCar series, Indy 500, this last season. Even though it wasn't televised, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What did they? What were they running? Like the Camaro, I'm assuming, or not? There's no Camaro in iRacing. Yeah.
No, they had. I was in the Chevrolet Corvette.
Okay, the G, is it the GT1?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. And bringing the field down at speed, that was a lot of fun. I got to bring the field up.
Did you get nervous?
A little bit, you know. You want to execute right, but they were all good sports. So pace car is off. We're getting ready to go racing here.
Kind of an early pace car off here at Barber with how early that is, but Kyle Kaiser bringing us down.
I think McGinnis was checking up. He was on the brakes, trying to get a little bit of a run on the pole sitter there, and we are 3 wide in some spots going into 1.
Looks like Will got a really good start on the outside there. That I think Kaiser almost didn't have the preferred line there. After, you know, in turn 1 it was great, but in turn 2 it was not the right place to be. So he dropped back 3 spots. So that should be interesting to watch as Zach Hudson considers diving, but everybody keeps going. It's going to be real interesting to see who decides to duck in on this lap. Single file.
Yeah, fighting it side by side in the back there between Heidi, and Rodriguez, but everyone else single file going through the S's, or what do you want to call it, the chicane there. Basically, it is going downhill and just hitting a bump really hard.
Yeah, there's kind of a massive bump. Do you remember there was a race, I want to say 2018 or 2019, the one that Sato won here. He led like the whole thing, but he like went off in that chicane into the kitty litter there.
I think that corner's taken out a number of drivers. If I recall in practice.
I mean, he kept it going and he won the race.
But side by side for the lead between McGuinness and Salisbury, and well, there we go, right there. They're already coming into the pits. So right now we're watching in the pits.
We're about to have 3 wide for the lead here.
Yeah, 3 wide for the lead and people in the pits already, and I believe that's Joseph Butler, I think.
Al Kaiser.
Max Butler, Sauter, and Rodriguez in the pits here.
Al Kaiser passing, so Salisbury back to 3rd, Kaiser in the 2nd. So McGuinness leads the way. Heading into Charlotte's Web corner.
Okay, now it's Hudson, Max Butler, and Andrew Sauter in the pit road here.
Robert McGuinness having a little bit of a rear brake lockup there, which you kind of don't really see in a car that has anti-lock brakes. Kyle Kaiser seems really fast here. I mean, he was the pole sitter, so.
A little bit of a slide on the rear end by McGuinness coming through 9 there.
Yeah, maybe he's got the rear brake bias like really moved towards the rear, which could cause that to happen. And maybe that just gives you a little bit of turn in some of these corners here.
Yeah, but the back end does seem happy right now at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to watch, so good for us.
Here we go. More cars possibly going to take the... nope, not among the leaders. One, I saw on the further shot, decided that I was going to take that shot on the pit road.
Escajeda went for, I believe that's Virtual Carbon Racing. I think he is the only one. Back to our leader.
And then McWhorter with the purple lap for 137.231 last time by.
Kyle Kaiser of Salisbury side by side.
Joseph Butler and Chris Heidi up 4 spots each one. Of course, those are without pit stops at this point. First car that is ahead of everybody. Let's see if he's out of the pits or not. It might be Escajeda. Escajeda's now moved to 11th. So it looks like the first car out.
I heard contact. I'm not sure where that came from.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from, but I heard some contact. Everybody seems to be going. Hudson seems a little slow. But no, he's still going.
Guinness putting on a
okay, there goes Kyle Kaiser into the pits.
Kyle Kaiser to the pits, yep.
I mean, we kind of have to keep him on the camera going into the pits because of how treacherous this pit lane could be.
Yeah, there's not one, but really 2 spots where you can ding your car up. But first, you go into the pits and you got to make slow down and make a rather it's a 90-degree turn, really. Where you go from the racing surface on the pit road, and then another 90-degree where you're onto the pit road onto where the service area is. So there's 2 90-degree turns that you got to navigate, and if you try to, well, we've seen a number of times in IndyCar. I don't think I've ever seen it in real life, but certainly in sim racing, where guys would come in and just smack that wall, and day's done.
I'm thinking of a friend of the show and race first driver, Gavin Sanders. Had some issues there in a particular race. I don't remember where, maybe RAL, that he was up there in the front, and he's like, in his pit cycle, he's like, "Well, I'm done now." So, so Will Salisbury on the outside of McGuinness, probably. Well,
Wow,
I thought for a second that he wasn't going to make a move there, but
hold on tires, hold on.
Really.
So that's McGuinness, Salisbury, McWhorter now your top three. About 33 minutes left to play. We still have mandatory pit stop for most drivers coming. McGuinness in.
Yeah, first, you got to be careful not to run into that Armco barrier, and then number two, you want to make sure not to speed. So currently, Kyle Kaiser leading the cars that have pit. Everybody lower than sixth then has pits. Okay, Joseph Butler also was hitting the pit lane there. He went through his box, though, so he's going to have a slow pit stop. Unfortunately,
Salisbury, McWhorter, Thompson are the last three that haven't hit pit road. McGuinness done, Butler done.
I believe that TJ Thompson last week, if my memory serves, he stayed out, as long as he could and led that lap for the bonus points. We'll have to see who does that between Ty McWhorter and him. So, if Salisbury ducks into the pits this time or not.
Al Kaiser going side by side with Joseph Butler going into the turn 5, I guess, hairpin-ish turn there. Definitely a passing zone.
This is what we had last week, where the guys who had pitted were putting on the show for, 5th or 6th position. And so it looks like Kaiser, let's see here. Kaiser had a slow pit stop, or just slightly slow, because he's dropped back 4 seconds from McGuinness. But obviously that's all going to reset at the 15-minute time.
Yeah, Butler had a really fast pit stop in the box, 4.7 seconds. That's 3 seconds faster than just about anybody else.
Well, I think he's the Butler we're going to be talking to, isn't it? We're going to ask him how much fuel did you put in that car, and can you make it to the end of the race?
And Kyle Kaiser showing the extra grip that the grass has been coated with, going in around turns 12 and 13, 14.
So Will stays out. He's got Ty McWhorter is right there on him, though, so he's putting on some good pace. In fact, has the fastest lap. I think you might have mentioned that earlier.
Yep, still at a 136. Actually, he bettered it. It's a 136.8 now.
That's almost the pole lap for him. So I think that's slightly slower than the pole lap, but it is right there.
And the interesting thing about these cars, they get faster and faster as they get lighter, and these tires are basically hockey pucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot like another car that you and I have raced sometimes, the Lotus 79, especially like on an oval. Those just, the longer you go, the faster they go in a stint. There's Kyle Kaiser sliding through the chicane area. But these are hockey pucks, and the more wear you put on them, the more that it's going to grip.
So, again, Robert McGuinness is about 4 seconds ahead of Kaiser, but that will all reset momentarily. We'll keep an eye on. So, Will Salisbury stays out once again. Not going to let anybody else lead down here. Not giving any bonus points out is our admin here in race control.
See, Wade Michael in chat says, we want to hear from Joe Butler. That guy is a loose cannon.
Okay, well, we'll watch out for that. I mean, we've had loose cannons in the past, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll bring him up here during the mandatory caution, competition caution. Let's go on board with Ty here. Always like to get some onboard shots. Heading through turn 7, 8, and 9. It's a little bit different to watch, you know, from the onboard versus, like, you know, I've raced this in the IndyCar the most, so. But even though those tires are hockey pucks, like, they're probably, you know, they're maxing out the grip level of these tires, so.
So Ty, he has done some professional racing in his past. He's raced the Legends car. He's been on iRacing for 12 years now. And the Legends cars go in circles a lot, so he seems to be holding himself very well on the road course.
Will Salisbury ducks into the pits. That's going to give the lead over to Ty. TJ Thompson stays out. So I think TJ is going to be hoping that Ty pits this lap and gives him a chance to lead a lap here. It's looking lap times. Yeah, last lap. Seeing if anybody can jump anybody else. And I'm going to keep an eye on what Will does versus Robert's pit there.
And he's out.
Yeah, but he's going to be behind
Hudson. Behind Hudson.
Yeah.
Butler, that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th right there. Salisbury's out behind it. He's going to get those tires. I'm sure he didn't change tires. Actually, you don't. The rules state you don't have to change tires if you don't want to. It's just you have to add gas because you can't make a complete distance on a single tank here. So you're going to have to top her off a little bit. But Salisbury was on pit road for 36 seconds, in the box for 10. One of the longest stops, so he must have filled it to the brim or something because he had one of the slower stops.
Let's see that we had a couple of cars actually off.
Okay, McWhorter on the pit road.
Okay.
So TJ Thompson, he's coming in. So McWhorter and Thompson are teammates by their livery, so they are on a strategy. Okay. So this is going to turn things over to McGinnis here,
yep.
Who has himself about a 14-second gap to those leaders.
I'm going to do a quick replay of to try to see if I can figure out what happened to Andrew Sauter. Okay, he lost it in turn 1. Oh, he flipped, in fact. Wow.
Oh, wow. On the lid.
So he got, you know, loose in turn 1, and then once he hit that gravel, the car just turned over. So who else did we have? Looking at... Try to get back to our live pictures. I think he had to tow that thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. We've got to make sure it goes through virtual racing concussion protocol.
Yeah, he had to tow that, but then he's going to get that fast repair. And that's another way, I suppose, to get to the pit lane for that mandatory stop, which will be coming up. That yellow flag will be coming out in a moment.
Now, real soon here. I haven't heard pits are closed yet, but everyone has made a stop. So
everybody has.
Yeah, so we basically call them closed at this point unless you have an issue. Leader is McGinnis by about 4 seconds over Kyle Kaiser. There's a car between him and Kaiser. I believe that is that's Max Butler. Yeah, Max Butler there is a second car a lap down, but the first car on the racetrack a lap down. Sauter with the flip is also a lap down in the pits, not moving. He might be moving now.
Yeah, it was just showing also Max Butler also getting in the Armco barrier. He had some other issues. He only had 3 tires. He was completely dragging a tire. So that's where.
And there is your safety car.
Okay. Yeah. So those drivers that had to do that, they are a lap down. So Butler and Sauter a lap down. Unfortunately, so that's going to reset the field here. So let's just go through the field here before we bring up. We were going to bring up Joe Butler, right?
Here we're going to bring up, see, Joe Butler is what we've
Yep.
been told, the loose cannon.
Yep. Okay, so I just wanted to say we got McGinnis, Kaiser, Salisbury, Hudson. Biggest mover in the race, Escajeda once again.
Yeah, he's up 3 spots right now.
Yeah, up 3 spots, so he's working it. But yeah, let's bring up from. He's a meatball, isn't he? Joe Butler's got to be a meatball.
He's
in
at
the
currently
P9.
P9 there.
Yeah.
And now
Well, we'll see what this loose cannon is. All right, let's bring him up. Hey, Joe, this is Matt and Gary up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, copy.
Hey, well, we heard that you were a loose cannon, so we had to bring you on into the booth for this competition caution. But tell us about your race.
Well, I found out that when I pitted, I didn't put in any fuel. It just didn't go in, so I had to pit again right before the pits closed. I hope I don't get a penalty for that. So yeah, I'm happy I was able to get in before the pits closed. That way I could maybe work my way back up.
I think this was actually one of the original reasons that we were going to bring you in. Is because we thought that you had like a really fast pit stop.
incredibly fast pit stop, yes.
So this is good information. That was our information that we were actually looking for. Is like you might have filled it so low that you might have needed to pit again, but it sounds like it was a mistake. So good to know. But otherwise, what have you got for the field here after this restart?
Well, I was quick in practice, but everybody else seemed to be a lot quicker in qualifying than everybody was in practice. So I actually don't think I have anything. I'm just kind of trying to run the race and expect a mistake up front. That way I can make a couple moves.
You're waiting for the big one to happen so that you can.
I like that. I like that strategy, actually. I do.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I'm not the big one, which is very possible,
Well, yeah, I mean, brake failure down in turn 5, something like that,
Whoopsies.
Yeah, whoops. Hey, it's just the meatball things, right?
Yep. Wave the meatball flag. Here I come.
Yep, there you go. Well, we'll let you get back to it. We've got some sponsorship stuff to shout out, but hey, good luck with the rest of your race. And hey, you were in Feline Discord, right?
Yeah, I was. I just needed some friends this evening.
Okay, all right. I'll put you back there. I just don't want to accidentally put you where it would be the worst thing if I put you in the wrong room. Like, I don't know, I put you up there with Will and you had to listen to him for the rest of the race.
Yeah, or alone with my own thoughts. That'd be
There
crazy.
you go. Yep. All right. Well, good luck. All right. Well, I'd say this is a good time for sponsor promos. Is probably what we should do.
Well, we want to thank our sponsors, Prio Rim. Prio Rim is one of our sponsors here. They provide complete rim protection against curb rash, pothole damage, and imperfections to your wheels. You have 9 different colors to choose from. Go to PrioRimUSA.com today to learn more, or click on the link in the description. Prio Rim is offering a set of their industry-leading rim protectors to the Drivers' Champion of the 2023 Fuel Series. 4D Racewear. 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on their link in the description as well. And we have a new sponsor this week. Looking for your edge in motorsports? Look no further than PitFit. PitFit has established themselves as a pioneer in the human performance side of the motorsports industry, supporting some of the most well-known drivers and teams worldwide. PitFit is proud to develop the most well-prepared drivers and teams in motorsports, ensuring that their psychological and cognitive stressors never become a limitation of maximizing performance. Join winners like Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, Colton Herta, Dario Franchitti, Will Power, Casey Kane, Sam Hornish Jr., and William Byron, who have trusted PitFit as their human performance partner. Check out pitfit.com or click on the link in the description.
Yeah, I mean, new sponsor comes on board. We kind of know it well, just living in Indianapolis and following, say, Twitter and things like that, or whatever it's called these days, from the drivers. And I remember years ago hearing about PitFit. So all the Indy Lights guys, not Indy Lights anymore though, right? Indy Next. And all those Road to Indy guys, you hear that from all those drivers. So really great for the series to get them on board here in the series. That's awesome. So
Yeah, it's interesting about on the about page of PitFit. We got a lot to go before going green, but got some time here. Actually, was kind of started by a member of Roger Penske's pit crew. He just says, "Hey, we're looking for a way to maximize the crew to get that edge." And if you think about back in the day, especially in the 80s and 90s, Penske was always looking for that edge. I mean, I remember a race where they were kind of employing the first to employ tire warmers before they were eventually painted IndyCar.
Yeah.
He was looking for every type of advantage, and found one. If he wasn't building a beast, they were building beasts of men in the pits. Because back in the day, I mean, on off season for a pit crew member is lounging back in the Barco lounger and drinking some beers and pounding some steaks and coming back and looking like someone that you would expect to be eating that type of food and nutrition numbers. So now it's no joke. A member of a pit crew team are highly tuned athletes, very agile, very fast, and they got to have a very good reaction time to get down on their knees, on their feet, back over the wall. And in that case, dodge a car coming at them sometimes. So wherever you're looking for an edge in motorsports, on pit road is definitely one of those, because that's the one of the few times where your car is sitting still, and you really want your car to sit still the least amount of time versus how long your opponents sit in pit road sitting still.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes those pit crew guys that get hit, they have to get up and punch the driver that hit them too. So that happens sometimes. We've seen it. Well, we are about to go green. Robert McGinnis going to bring us back to the green, driving for the Feedline Speed Syndicate. So I think this is about our only driver that is not team affiliated here, is Kyle Kaiser here in second. Number 88 car. Yeah,
he is solo on the team front, but when you're solo on the team front, no team orders.
No team orders. He just can go for it. We know he's fast. Ty McWhirter there, he's back to fifth. We know he's fast. He can set fast laps. So I don't think this race is over with Robert McGinnis. He's a two-time winner this season. Will Salisbury won the other one. Might have a third winner here this season.
The old accordion stacking up as drivers are now scrambling to the back, trying to get an edge on the car in front of them. We are 4 wide mid-pack as we're going across the start-finish line for green. McGinnis and Kaiser and Will Salisbury, 1, 2, 3 into 1.
These guys in the back do have to be careful not to pass before start-finish, though. So hopefully nobody got a black flag back there. Down to Charlotte's Web, the fifth corner here. Ooh, Will Salisbury
sending it
deep into the braking zone. Ooh, I think I heard.
Oh, a couple cars off there in the corner. Not sure who that was. Sauter, I think, might have been one.
Yeah, I've got a Max Butler may have crashed message, so we will quickly see what we've got there.
15, now just less than 16 minutes left to play.
Just two cars came together. It wasn't too bad. Worse for Butler. I'm not sure who the other car was.
We got the PitFit logo on the side.
It was Sauter.
They are sponsoring this lap.
There you go. McGinnis gapping a little lead there over Kaiser. I'm going to go on board with Salisbury. Basically, we always get the message, we want more on board, so here's your on board. And I never do onboards from the leader, though. I do onboards from, second or third and showing who is the leader, so.
Do you still have the PitFit logo up?
You're right, I do. You're right. Oops.
They just sponsor the last couple laps.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah.
Good call.
And here's Salisbury inside in the Charlotte's Web quarter.
Yeah, so these guys in second and third battling, they want to, one of them wants to get ahead and chase down McGuinness up there, but if they keep battling, that might make it even more difficult.
I believe this is the portion of the track that runs right in front of the
Museum.
Yep. And we were talking about museums last week while at Indianapolis. This is, again, one of the better motorsports museums around if you get a chance to check it out.
Yeah, it is so this is a bike track, and it has a lot of bikes in it, but I believe it has a lot of different cars as well. So it's not just bikes, but it does have a lot of bikes too. Did you ever go to when the MotoGP was at the Indy Road Course? Did you ever go to that?
No.
I wanted to, but I never did. So, before long, it was gone. So. Kaiser's still strong there.
These top three are starting to put a little distance between themselves and McWhorter.
So looking at Joe Butler, our interview from the intermission or competition caution, whatever we want to call it, he's up 3 spots into 6th. That is the most in the field, and he looks like he's actually about to make a move on Zach Hudson. We might inspire people when we bring him up here into that interview.
At the very least, it turned him a nickname, so.
Ooh, Kyle Kaiser got a little bobble in the chicane. Salisbury side by side. Looks like Salisbury's going to take over that position. Which, actually, Salisbury last lap set the fastest lap, and that is faster than qualifying. So,
yeah, and the first three all set very fast laps. But the fastest was Salisbury at 1:36.7. So again, cars getting lighter, tires getting warmer. It's the opposite of kind of what you expect from road course racing. With you have all these different soft tire compounds and whatnot. It's interesting. I think what race was it? Last IndyCar race? Was it Gateway? Where they were talking about multiple tire compounds on ovals.
Oh yeah,
they made it like sound like it was a big deal. It's never been done before. They did that in the 80s and 90s in IndyCar racing. I don't know what the heck they were talking about.
Well, I guess they meant that we haven't had like red tires on road or on ovals yet.
Yeah, but they always had hard, medium, and soft.
Yeah, they did.
Back, or at least, even if you go back and play the IndyCar Racing 1 and 2 game, you could actually change compounds on ovals. So it was kind of weird for them to say, like,
well, it depends, Gary, if the history started in 1996 or not.
Or did history start or stop in 96? Or
depends on who you ask, I suppose.
History resumed in 2008,
It depends on which forum you went to. Was it the track forum or the crap wagon? Anyway, we are back to racing here. Will Salisbury has chased down Robert McGuinness here. He's got something to prove here. He wants to be a 2-time winner in this series, along with
hopping the curves there in 12.
Big time hop.
Through 13, yeah, I'm going to get a little bit. Everyone's kind of using that grass a little bit.
They are using the grass. I'm not sure if we have an incident limit or anything.
Tokyo Drift there in turns 15 and 16.
Which puts Kyle Kaiser right there on the bumper of Will Salisbury, though, but he saved it.
Kyle Kaiser to the inside. Off again onto the grass there. Another drifter. I think Zach Hudson drifted through one. Another drifter. I think Joseph Butler Sauter. I can't tell. Everything's moving so fast. I think it might have been Chris Heide who actually went sliding through one and almost found the inside arm coat, but he's back underway.
I'm seeing Escajeda moving back to our biggest mover.
Here is Kyle Kaiser and Salisbury side by side. Kaiser getting the position. This is down the straight through the 6 dog leg, coming in the 7, 8, and 9.
This is exactly what Robert McGinnis wants, though.
Yes, absolutely.
He's got a big smile on his face. He's got a 1.7 second lead.
And this is exactly what Ty McWhirter wants, because this is just bringing those guys closer to him.
Side by side through. I'm not sure that corner sequence has a name or anything, but 10 and 11. Very fast chicane. I guess you might call it a chicane.
Certainly a little bit of a dog leg, and there's Kaiser off into the grass that time. All four wheels off into the grass, and obviously that's not going to have as much grip there, but he is holding the outside momentum, and then the 16 gets the position back. All the while, McGinnis stretches the lead to 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, that's getting to be insurmountable lead, possibly. In fact, well, okay, his last lap was his personal best, I think.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's like a matching lap is what I've got. Kaiser with the fastest lap a couple laps ago, though. Like, in fact, the last lap was like 2 seconds or a second and a half slower than our leader. With these guys battling here, up to almost 3 seconds.
Now McWhirter's part of this battle right here.
Yeah.
He just really joined it here as the dive in there in the 5.
Top
And
5
we have
cars. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. We got about 8 minutes left to play, and the top 5 is.
I was just going to say that we've got several cars in the 36s. Like, you know, only one car was in the minute 36 during qualifying, but we got several cars. All the way back, Max Butler in 10th today. His personal best is a minute 36. But anyway, top 5, what you're saying, Gary, was Robert McGinnis, Will Salisbury, so 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds back. Kyle Kaiser was in second. Salisbury was, or wait, yeah, sorry, I've got this mistaken. Salisbury in second, Kyle Kaiser in third, Ty McWhirter right there in fourth, and then pretty big gap back to Zach Hudson for the Sad Boys here, and then kind of a gaggle of cars behind him. Let's say
about 7 to 8 laps left to play here. About 7 minutes left to play as well. So, computer's doing the math. Says there about another 7 laps to go. So we're getting down to the final moments here.
Yeah, I think we're only going to get 5 or 6, but we'll see how it comes down.
McGinnis continues to pull away, 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they can do, even if they cooperated with one another. He's setting laps that are almost exactly what they're setting, so if they were cooperating with one another anyway. I don't believe that Kyle Kaiser is in voice here, though, so we might have to interview, like, 4th place if he ends up being on the podium.
So I forgot to mention while we had the loose cannon Joe Butler on, but he says his racing experience is strictly on the sim side, which he's been doing about 4 years. He's a videographer, primarily in motorsport, IMSA, IndyCar, SRO, and in his free time he loves to skateboard, ride bikes, hike, camp, and do anything outdoors. Oh, this is the perfect area. This is a good, I understand the camping at this particular race course is particularly good, but a videographer, that's interesting. That is a great career, especially in racing. I used to have a neighbor that was used to run the Turn 4 camera back in the day when WTTV Channel 4 used to have all the cameramen at the racetrack. He used to run the camera at the top of Turn 4 back in the day.
Hey Gary, I got a question for you, and don't worry, I'm going to answer it too. When was the last time that you skateboarded?
Back when I fell and it didn't hurt as much, I guess.
Yeah,
it has been a while.
It had to have been the 1990s, yeah, for me.
And more power to Joe there.
Yeah, I'm not touching a skateboard. I'm not touching anything. I might be able to do ice skates. Last time I did that, it made my thighs really hurt, but I could ice skate.
Gravity's not my friend, especially at this age and this weight. So,
yeah, I was never good with the skateboard, so I just avoid that. I wasn't even good with 2 wheels on a bicycle, so yeah. One concussion too many on that one. And that's why we're here. Well, so Will did, he cut a 10th into Robert's lead, but
2.2 seconds now.
I'm trying to look through the lead. We've kind of got a battle between Joe Butler and TJ Thompson here that we're going to keep an eye on, unless something heats up towards the front. Let me know. Keep an eye on those battles, and otherwise I'll be back here with Joe Butler and TJ Thompson.
Well, we got a couple battles over just 1 point right now. A lot of the guys have only, the biggest gainers, only 2 spots, and that's McWhorter. Nelka Butler now has the edge. He is now up 3 spots. So there's quite a battle for that extra bonus point going on right now.
As he crosses the start-finish line, yep. And then he takes over that, I'm not sure, whoa, he had a little bit of in the grass moment there. That's going to give advantage to TJ Thompson into turn 5 they go. And anybody in chat can also answer the question of when was the last time you skateboarded? What year was it? and if you don't know the year, you can say the decade.
Or was it the skinny plastic ones or the wide wood ones?
Yeah, so mine was like the, I don't know, the
Marty McFly one, or is it the Tony Hawk one? No, mine was
the Tony Hawk one. Okay. Like, I had the Marty McFly one in the 80s, but then I did have, and I was like only 5 years old or something then, so. Anyway, back to on-track action. Butler and Thompson just looking. We've also got a battle, Sauter and Heidi, I think it is. Actually, not Heidi. What is this between? Okay, other Butler. It's between Sauter and Max Butler here. I got confused for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Was I calling the wrong drivers in that battle? But I was correct. Looks like Kaiser up there in 3rd has dropped back about a second with Salisbury. So we're just kind of heading around up here. Big gaps, other than TJ Thompson and Butler. And Joe Butler, TJ Thompson, and actually Max Butler's kind of catching up to them. That battle back there between Max Butler and Sauter.
And Joe Butler now has the edge on the bonus points. About 4 laps ago, but I think we're not even going to get that. It's,
it might even be 2.
Minutes 32 to play. We might see, I think we're going to see a white flag this time by.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Don't want to make the mistake we made on the first race of the season where...
we didn't even know they were on a white flag.
Yeah. It's like it was the checkered flag, and we thought the battle was going to be continued. So, I want to make that mistake again. So yeah, Max Butler is really catching this battle between TJ Thompson and Joe Butler. Big hops by the meatballs there. Our leader coming. That is white flag.
White flag.
And okay, so Will Salisbury just set I think it's his best lap, but it used the grass, so it didn't actually count as his fastest lap. He did a 36.80.
He caught a lot of grass there at the 13 and 14 area.
Okay.
Watching McGinnis now. Final time into turn 5. Got the feline. Of course, we know what felines do to spiders. They eat them.
That's why you have cats, Gary, right? I've got 3 of them.
They take care of the pests.
Yeah, I haven't seen...
There were remarkably not a lot of pests around my house.
Yep, really, when we moved into the house that we're in, we had a bunch of centipedes, a bunch of spiders. 3 cats on the loose. Suddenly we don't have either. So
no.
So Max Butler got around. Okay, TJ Thompson had an issue and he dropped back a couple spots. Sorry, we did not catch that on the cameras. But yeah, that's going to put Joe Butler, well, Butler and Max Butler in 6th and 7th.
And getting ready to navigate the last couple of corners.
Yeah, back to the leader
15, here. 16. And we are 3 out of 4 for Robert McGinnis. He chalks up another one for the Fuel Series this season.
Takes that win. Will was, as he scrapes the pit wall, but Will did bring that lead down to about 1.5 seconds before that happened. So Kyle Kaiser is going to have our fastest lap of the race. That is an official lap at a minute 36.592. So we will set up for our interviews. I'll just do it the manual way here. Just like what I do is I like go back in time and then I slow things down. It always takes me back to the caution laps, unfortunately, though, which isn't great to watch in slow motion. Moment here, we'll get who do we want to interview first? We usually do third first, but since we don't have Kyle, do we want to bring unless we have him there and he just joined as Rare Raw. Because I haven't seen him. That does look like Kyle Kaiser there, so I'm seeing from his profile picture.
Okay.
Let me bring him up here. Or is it not going to let me? And no, it's not letting me. Oh, no, there he goes.
You're in the stand.
Hey, Kyle, this is Matt and Gary in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. Can you hear me?
Hey, yep, we got you. Well, this was a turnaround race for you, I'd say, here in the series. Set it on pole. Ended up being in third, but you did set the fastest lap. Tell us about your race and how you prepared for this one.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm definitely kind of getting back into the swing of getting on the simulator. Prior to the fuel season, I hadn't been on it for like 6 months, so definitely getting comfortable again driving on the sim. But yeah, this week I actually did a little bit of preparation before the race. I did a practice for about an hour before official practice started, and that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, always getting a little bit of practice helped, but yeah, tell us about the race. You kind of, Robert kind of got ahead, and then you and Will were battling there, and Will just Robert got away from you guys, both of you, at that point. Nothing you could do at that point. Anything you'd have done differently here, I guess, is the question.
No, I'm happy with kind of the pace that we had. I hadn't really done a long stint, so I felt like once the tires started going away from me, I didn't really have the pace to keep up, and I was getting a lot of pressure from Will. He was definitely the quicker driver there. So if we were going to catch up to Robert, we would have had to kind of work together and try to reel him in. But I don't think either of us wanted to be the second car in line, so that let Robert kind of pull a big enough lead, and I don't think there was just enough time to catch up to him. But I had a lot of fun. It was good, clean racing, and feel like hopefully maybe the second half of the season I can be up there fighting for more wins.
You got anything else, Gary?
I really don't. It's a great. We all are IndyCar fans, so we knew your name immediately when we saw you on the roster. So it's a pleasure to talk to you, get a chance to know you a little bit, and get to watch you here in the sim. Any shout outs? Anybody want to say hi to? Any sponsors, family, anything like that might be watching that is a big part of your life today?
Yeah, I'll give one shout out to my fiance Liz, who's been sitting right here next to me.
Wise choice. Very wise choice.
Couldn't do it without her support, that's for sure. She's like literally 3 feet to my left right now. So yeah, she definitely gets the biggest shout out.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for keeping them straight.
She does a good job with that.
Well, we'll see you not next week, because happy Thanksgiving, but in a couple weeks at Mosport.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right, see you guys.
All right, we will bring up Will. Hey, Will, this is Matt and Gary. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt. How are you guys doing?
Good. We were just talking to Kyle about, you and him had a good battle between each other, but while you were doing that, Robert just got away from you. So, but
yeah, he did. It was, it was a good race. I really enjoyed that one. I was actually just kind of debriefing there with Rob for a minute. We were talking about it. He was running qualifying laps. He was saying he had to put in some real burners just to stay in front. And I knew I had a fast car. I didn't get the pole, but we were right off pole. Kyle did a hell of a job this week, so hats off to him for qualifying up front and racing up front. Obviously, he is a proven race driver in his own right, based on his history. So it was cool to see him up there and running with him. But we had a little more than Kyle today. Just couldn't quite catch Rob when it mattered. I made some mistakes and almost lost the back end. We were saying how the track just really got slick, and I had two big moments that really just cost me the race, and unfortunately couldn't reel it in at that point. It was just too far gone. Me and Rob were running fast laps, but just not quite enough to pull him back in. But overall, it was a fun race. Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. I was going to ask Kyle about that, but we noticed you and Kyle and I, and it might have been Robert at one point, and several other drivers just getting like their rear end kind of. It was Tokyo Drift, is what Gary said at times. Not the fast way around a racetrack, though. So might look great, but not fast. What exactly was causing that? Was it like the undulating hills, or did you guys like have too much rear brake bias? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the conditions out there were pretty, set for that to happen. We hadn't done a lot of long runs in practice, so I wasn't sure how the track would take to gripping up, but it sure slicked up very quickly. There was a lot of heat in the tires. You're pounding these tires going into especially turns 1 and 2 with just the off camber corners, building up a lot of heat in the outside of those tires. And when you get down into the braking zone, sometimes that back end just wants to kick around on you. And especially with Barber Motorsports Park being set the way it is as a motorcycle track with a lot of rolling hills, off camber corners, there's a lot of opportunities there to lose the car. And unfortunately, that happened to quite a number of us. And as soon as you feel that back end starting to come around, the traction control kicks in, and it tries to save you, but ultimately it slows you down so much that you can't get the run off the corner. So, I did a good job of not looping it, but also gave up the positions there when it counted, and just wasn't able to reel myself back in.
Hey, Gary, you got anything else to ask?
What's it looking like? Of course, we have the week off for the holiday, but then we're back at it at I believe Mosport. What do you think these cars are going to race there, especially down that Andretti Straight? It's going to be like one big long draft train.
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting track. I've been wanting to put that on the schedule for a while now, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think a lot of people have experience at Barber, but not so much experience at CTMP. I'm going to say that probably Rob might be the only one that's actually has the most experience, having driven there in real life. But it's a very interesting track. I think that Andretti Straight is going to bring the field together, but also you have the hairpin down there, the very off camber hairpin, very tough blind entry into that. So we're going to see a lot of mistakes there. We're going to see a lot of people coming off that corner without the great speed, and you're going to get runs going down the straight into a very fast ending section of the track. So I don't know what it's going to bring in these cars. Yeah, I think we've all run it in GT3s and maybe some open wheels in the past, but I don't know if anyone of us has tested in these GR86 cars. So it's going to be a fun one. I know that it's going to be a tight race, as tonight has proven. So I'm really looking forward to getting up north of the border there, getting some cheese curds, and we'll go up to Bowmansville, Ontario at CTMP and have ourselves a blast.
Wasn't it, what's it, Gary? You might know it. Poutine? Is that what they eat up there?
Poutine, yep. Cheese curds,
get a little
gravy, yep.
Yeah, need a little poutine over the border. We'll stop in at On the Go. We'll grab ourselves some ketchup chips, and we'll have a good time.
And eat, what was it? Some Smarties that aren't like the Smarties in the U.S. I don't know if you know that one, but somebody was telling me that. Anyway, we'll let you go. A good race here, Will, and we'll see you back in a couple weeks.
Well, thank you. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. See you guys next week.
Yep. All right, we'll bring up Robert, who is streaming something right now, so we'll see how this works. Hey, Robert, this is Matt.
Pulls him
and
out of a
Gary.
stream.
Yeah, pull him out of the stream. But how's it going, Robert? Congrats on
Good,
the win. Yep.
good. I was so frustrated getting the slowdown in the last one because that didn't give me the win. I put in a little bit of extra practice. I really wanted to make sure I won this one, and I got lucky that they battled behind me for so long.
That's what
Well, I
we
guess
said. Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I guess we heard before the race that you were feeling a little bit under the weather, also at that Indianapolis race. How are you feeling now?
I'm incredible.
Good.
I've never felt better actually.
All right. Well, there you go.
That sounds like a race car driver to me.
It does.
But yeah, so I was saying that you had to have a big smile on your face when you saw Kyle and Will battling, and you were almost up to 3 seconds, but not quite. But there at the end, Will was starting to catch you a little bit, but it was probably too little, too late at that point. Yeah, you had the dominating car, at least in the race. Maybe not in qualifying. Kyle really set that lap. He was only one, I think, in the 36s in qualifying, so that was kind of a mega lap. But yeah, great race, great run from the front. Any shout-outs, anything like that?
As always, got to shout out Lottie, got to shout out Cholula. They're the reason that I get up every morning and the reason that I'm able to be out here competing for wins. So it's nice to keep showing well for them, and that's why they stay involved. So, no, good weekend.
Another win it's 3 wins of the 4 races for the Felines Speed Syndicate there. What do you think? So we were talking to Will about Mosport, CTMP. Any thoughts going there? He said you might be one of the only drivers that has real life experience there.
Yeah, I love Mosport. That's going to be another very high commitment track, right? That was an exhausting race, having to do those qualifying laps into those blind high speed corners. Mm-hmm. So Mosport's going to be more of the same, but there's a couple long straights at that track, and so I think it's going to be a little bit more of a pack race. Should be a little bit more exciting, I would say. But I love Mosport, right? We won there this year in the Turner number 95 car until we had a technical infraction that put us to the back. But I like that place, so that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it's a good track. I know the Canadians love it. They'd probably rather you go. I'm sorry, thinking IndyCar goes there rather than Toronto, but it's too much track for or not enough track for IndyCar to go there. In Mosport, I'm talking about. Yeah,
it's those are 2 great options, and an IndyCar around Mosport would be terrifying. So
it would be.
I understand why they go, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun to go there in these GR86 cars, and the Canadian fan base is so strong. They have a passion for motorsport. I know we're going to feel that in the race next week.
Awesome. Well, you did your shout outs. Well, we'll see you back here a couple weeks for Mosport.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, Mosport's one of the few places that AJ Foyt's got a road course win in IndyCar racing. So
I'll bring up the schedule here. Yeah. So you were talking AJ Foyt.
Yep.
What's the other road course that he won at? Riverside, maybe something like that.
I have to look that up. I think he only had just a handful of them. But while we bring up the schedule real quick, just McGuinness, Salisbury, Kaiser, your top 3. McWhirter, Hudson, and Butler, your top 6 there, and that's Joseph Butler. Max Butler, Sauter, Thompson, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Heidi Rodriguez and Escajeda is going to take a hit in the points. This might be his drop race if there's such a thing. He might wish it's his drop race right now. He finishes 12th and last, so that's going to hurt him in the points, like I said. So that is your 12 car field. And we got, what do we got the schedule next is we're going to wait a week. Everyone has the Thanksgiving down here in America. And then we're going to go to Mosport, and then we're going to go oval racing.
Yeah, we're going to go oval racing at USA International. I'm not sure if that track exists or not still. It was in Florida. But we're going to have a 4-week stretch where every Tuesday night we're going to be running here. USA International VIR is the 7th round and finishing it off with an hour race at Sebring. So I'm a big VIR fan. I don't know if it'll be like the best race, but you know, I love that track. It's just that it is a driver's lapping track, like fun to lap. I mean, like Barber here. Yeah.
We should get Gavin for doing Mosport here in a couple weeks. He's got some real life experience there as well.
Yeah, he does. I don't know if he'd want to do that or not, though. But I won't talk about that on the broadcast. I'll talk to you. I'm gonna cut people off, and they're gonna wonder what I'm talking about. But I'll tell you, Gary. Yeah. Anyway, we are. Thank you everybody for watching. Unless you want to lead us out, Gary.
Everybody, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Want to thank Prio Rim for being the sponsor. Prio Rim provides complete rim protection against curb rash, pothole damage, imperfections to your wheels. You got 9 different colors to choose from. Go to PrioRimUSA.com and order your set today. And Prio Rim will also offer a set of their industry-leading rim protectors to the driver's champion. Right now, looks like to be Robert McGinnis, as we're midway through the season, is our driver leader. If he is a champion after another 4 more races, he will get himself a free set of the Prio Rim technology. Also joining us as a sponsor, 4D Racewear. Check out their made-for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparels. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on their link in the description. And look no further than our other sponsor that we got today. Looking for your edge in motorsports? Then you are looking at PitFit. PitFit has established themselves as the pioneer in the human performance side of the motorsports industry, supporting some of the most well-known drivers and teams worldwide. PitFit is proud to develop the most well-prepared drivers and teams in motorsports, ensuring that psychological and cognitive stressors never become a limitation of maximizing performance. Join winners like Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, Colton Herta, Dario Franchitti, Will Power, Casey Kane, Sam Hornish Jr., and William Byron. A lot of Indy 500 winners there who have trusted PitFit as their human performance partner. Check out pitfit.com or click on their link in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll just have it off to you if you want to kick us out.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks to all of our sponsors and our league admins.